What is up, guys? Zan from the Zan Madden YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to talk about the smart routed streak and why it is a tactic that you need to install in your offense against the new zone meta.
Before we dive into this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of the great tutorials that we got headed your way here on the Playbook.gg
If you guys want to take your game to the
channel.
next level in Madden 21, check out my strategy site, GridironGamePlans.gg. Gridiron Game Plans is your one-stop source for all things competitive Madden. Every week in our Vault Update, we take a look at the meta, or the most effective tactics available being used by pro players on the MCS circuit, breaking down not only how and why the pros do what they do, but most importantly, how you can counter those metas when you face them in online gameplay. On top of that, your subscription also includes any and every offensive and defensive game plan released on the website while your subscription is active. My most recent defensive game plan is my Nickel 245 defensive game plan, and I'm currently working on my comprehensive spread playbook, which has 33 shotgun formations to break down. I've already broken down the 2x2 formations. I have released over 3 hours of content on the ace spread scheme, which is my favorite offense that I've run all year long, and I'll be working on doubles and trips content as well to install over the next month or so. So definitely head over to GridironGamePlans.gg. $9.95 per month unlocks the entire website. Okay, guys, without further ado, let's get into today's video. What we're going to be talking about today is the smart routed streak. Typically speaking, most players tend to view a streak route as a pull route, or a route that is designed to get open for a one-play score if you use corner routes and other routes that can pull down deep zones. But the smart routed streak is a weapon that you guys can use, especially now that EA has gone in and made changes to the one step ahead meta. When they basically went in and changed the AP on one step ahead to 6 AP, they effectively killed man coverage. Now, there are still some players out there that are running bench press, and I personally don't really think that's really that good. But for the most part, I'm seeing mostly zone coverage, and it's zone drops. A lot of players are running double Mabel. They're doing a lot of lurking in the middle of the field, and you're going to have to kind of find some unique ways to manipulate zones. Now, of course, I've shown you guys one play touchdown formulas here on the channel. I've shown you a ton of formulas to beat zone coverage on the website. This is a tactic that I put in the vault in the month of March. Early March, I started talking about these actually as a way to beat man coverage, as basically a really deep route bounce. Now, that zone is the meta. We're going to be noticing that this is actually a tactic that gets far more open than it did against man. So let's go ahead and kind of show you what the streaks look like. So if I were to put all three receivers on streaks, you notice that they run basically with the ball spotted here at the 30, they run to the opposite 20. So it's a 50-yard route. Now, if I go ahead and I smart route any route, it's basically you're going to press Y or triangle on PlayStation. You're going to tap the receiver's icon, and then you're going to hit right bumper or R1 on PlayStation to smart route it. Typically speaking, if it's like an out, like a route like an out route, and you smart route it, it's going to smart route it up to the first down marker. But with a streak, when you smart route, it smart routes the route down to a depth of 30 yards, give or take. So you see again here, we're spotted on our 30-yard line. The route is basically stopping, the opposite 45. So it's roughly 25 yards downfield. Now, this is something that can be really valuable to you, because if you know what you're doing, if you know what type of coverage shell you're dealing with, like say for instance, you're dealing with a cover 4. Well, I know that I can use the outside receiver, John Brown, on a streak 50 yards downfield to pull his quarter zone. I could go ahead and tell Beasley to run a streak to pull this quarter zone all the way downfield. And there's no real deep zone that's in between Jackson and McCourty. There is no deep zone in the game that fills that little void down the numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take Diggs, and we're going to smart route him down, so his route will then turn around in that special spot. Now, I can't overlay the play art here, but you can tell right here, again, there's that little gap in between the outside quarter on the left and the inside quarter on the left around the 50-yard line. Basically that little area of green grass right there. And if I take a look here at the offensive play art, you can tell that Diggs is going to run his route into that area. Now, when he gets to that spot, he's going to end up stopping and turning around. And typically speaking, that's going to allow you, hopefully he will actually stop and actually look at you. Sometimes they continue running downfield. It's important that you remember to, you know, make sure that they do turn around and don't lead them upfield. But typically speaking, they will turn around and try to find the quarterback. So you see right here, that's when he turns around. You can throw the ball coming back to the quarterback. So in the first example, I threw the ball too early. You want to make sure that he turns around all the way. Now, this is really nice because I think that this tactic is something that you can use. A lot of players are not going to be using that route. They're just going to see all the verticals and they're going to, you know, they're going to chill. But again, if you see right here, this guy just route bounces back over the middle of the field. And that's going to be a tough user for a lot of players. I mean, you have to think about how this meta is currently employed. If you go into, you know, a game, more often than not, you're going to see the nickel 3-3-5 wide, which I don't have here, but more often than not, you're going to see a defense that looks something like, I'm going to go ahead and find a match style blitz here. So let's go ahead and kind of build the Mabel coverage that is so popular here. And I'm just going to choose whatever formation. It really doesn't matter. So let me go ahead and choose like a spread formation, right? And we typically speaking are going to see the blue zones at 25 yards. And then you're going to see purple zones set to each side for the shallow sidelines. And then you're going to typically see a spy, a little two-man rush. And then the user is just going to kind of lurk in the middle of the field, which I'm mimicking with this yellow mid-read, right? So you've got a ton of sideline zones. You're basically going to have, you know, both sidelines, short, medium, and deep, covered with a spy underneath and a deep middle third. And then that's going to leave this guy to cover basically everything on the field in the middle. Well, you know, this is a tactic that you can use where, let's say you want to run off both outside thirds and then kind of, you know, have this concept in the middle of the field. You know, you're going to be able to tell pretty easily, you know, these guys stop and they look for turf. And right there, that was just a bad pass lead to the outside. You want to pass lead that down and inside. But you can see how these guys basically find open grass. They stop 25, 30 yards downfield. It's actually 30 yards. You notice that the play art stops the routes at the 45, but both guys go to the 40 and turn around. So it's a 30 yard. It's basically a curl route. The only issue that you might run into is that the route might run too far back underneath into an underneath zone. You saw right here that this throw kind of got led to the outside, which allowed the underneath zone to kind of get out there. But, you know, like if you can get that guy to spot up and run back down, you know, this is going to be super valuable to you to kind of space the user and make him understand that he can't just play defense in a fashion that looks, you know, like this, where you're going to have just two rushers, a bunch of zones on the sideline, a deep third over the top, and then just a user. You know, you're going to be able to kind of, you know, space the field and make your opponent, you know, try to, I mean, you could tell right here. I mean, you see how that works. You can just throw this ball coming back to the quarterback. They're going to have to worry about, you know, Texas routes. And honestly, you wouldn't just have a bunch of smart routed streaks. I'm just showing them for the purpose of this video. You're going to scheme them into your offense. I mean, if you start to think about, you know, like a gun bunch style offense, typically speaking, you know, a streak is always viewed as kind of the route that is kind of the pull route, right, for an offense. So, you know, as it pertains to like a C-spot meta, if I were to face, you know, like, let's say we were to face, I'll just go 3-3-5 odd, and I'm going to set up a Mabel coverage here. Let's say that you're facing, you know, cover 2 with double Mabel, which is a pretty popular coverage. If people aren't running cover 3 double Mabel, they're running cover 2 double Mabel. Let's see if I can find the Tampa 2. There we go. And you're definitely going to see, you know, coverages that look kind of like, you know, kind of like this, where you know, you might have 2 hook curls in the middle, but then you're gonna have both sidelines kind of covered, right? So, you know, if you can occupy them underneath with playmaker, like if you can pretend here that John Brown has that playmaker, that's the guy that they typically are going to worry about. And then, you know, what you could do is kind of, typically this is a route combo a lot of players will run, where you have the playmaker from the backside and then just a street corner flat combo. Well, we know that the Mabel coverage is designed to try to take away that corner route that players like to throw. Now, of course, you could always, you know, some players will throw that corner route over the top of that cloud flat. But what you can now do is effectively try to use that streak rather than just making it a pull route. You can make that available to you later on in the progression, which is kind of important. You know, if you can get your opponent to pay all of their attention, you know, we're just going to mimic this here with this spy, you know, staying underneath on a drag, for instance, you know, they're kind of lurking down on the drag from that position that Duggar's in. You can kind of tell what I'm talking about. So you see like he's biting down on that drag, and all of a sudden you've got this curl route that's just available, and you don't want him, again, you want to make sure that he turns around completely so you can throw the ball in a curl. Make sure that he keeps his body square to the quarterback before you actually throw it. But you're going to be able to tell that this guy right here, if you let him turn all the way around, you see how I actually started to throw the ball before he was finished turning around? You see I start my throwing animation before he's square to the line. If you can get Diggs to actually turn around completely and show his numbers to the quarterback, that's going to be pretty important for, you know, getting that deep throw. A lot of players are going to view that as just some BS, you know, some busted, broken play, but you guys are going to be actually able to scheme this into your offense pretty easily. So, you know, if you're facing this style of defense where, you know, somebody is lurking underneath, again, I'm mimicking Duggar just kind of biting underneath here. You know, this is going to be something that you should be able to do. So again, you wait, he turns, and now he comes back to the ball, and now you're able to throw that ball for a pretty solid gain. Now, I know that the route turns around 30 yards downfield. It comes back to the quarterback. But again, this is still a nice gain. You're going to be able to complete this for, see right here, that's 20 yards. 20 yards on this route. So, you know, this is a route combination that you should be able to throw pretty easily. You know, it's not, to me, I probably wouldn't do it over there on the sideline. I mean, you're going to see right here, like if I smart route John Brown, you're going to have that 25-yard zone. And it really doesn't make itself available because it's running right back underneath into a zone. So really what you're going to have to pay attention to is what type of coverage are they playing? Are they playing, you know, cover 2 where the sideline, you know, are they playing Mabel where it's heavily loaded on the sidelines? If so, then you're going to smart route streaks in the middle of the field. Are they playing, you know, more of a hard flat style coverage with a bunch of zones over the middle? Well, then you're going to want to, you know, probably set up a coverage or a smart routed streak on the outside. So I'm not sure if I have my, let's just go ahead and put this guy in a purple zone here, but you know, you might do something kind of, like this, you know, where you smart route, you know, the streak on the sideline. I don't know if this crosser is going to end up running too close here, but we'll find out. Let's go ahead and do this here. No, in fact, he sets up and comes right back to the ball. So, I mean, it's, you know, this is a concept that you can use against zone. You just have to know where the zones are, where the underneath help is, where they spot dropping those zones underneath. And once you know that, you know where to smart route your streak wherever it is on the field. You're going to be able to pick up pretty easy yardage here on this concept. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is something a little bit different. This is something, again, that I had on Gridiron Game Plans over a month ago. This is something that subscribers, the customers to my website, get in advance of the YouTube channel. You know, as the season starts to go on, you know, I try to mix in a little bit of the stuff that was on the website for the subscribers. So if this is something that you guys enjoy, go check out the website, man. $9.95 per month unlocks the entire website. Again, I just released the Vault update yesterday with 4 tips. A lot of interesting stuff that a lot of players didn't know, some ability stuff that people aren't running. Pretty good content this week. So hopefully I'll see you guys over there on the website. If not, I'll see you guys here Monday with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.